How to hand sew a satin binding to a wool quilt. Here is how I hand sew a non-stretch silky binding to the very stretchy knits in my sweater quilts and cardigans. Right on the edge of the hem, I do a little tiny stitch, and then I put the needle through the knit, but not through to the backing, about the width of my little finger. Then I bring up the needle and do another tiny stitch, trying to just take up the very edge of the binding. Here we go again, picking up the knit. I sort of wriggle it around a bit through the knit because the knit has dimension. I like to do this work sitting at a table, either a coffee table, sitting on the floor, or at a big table like this one. It takes all the stress off the quilt and makes it much easier for my back and my neck. Now, behind these stitches on the binding, you can see that there are some tacking or basting stitches. This particular binding fabric was so slippery that I have done 2 separate lots of tacking or basting. It's much better to do lots of preparation. You'll also notice I'm not trying to sew onto a pinned binding. That's just asking for trouble. There's something very annoying about getting pricked with pins while you're doing your hand sewing. You can also see here, now we come to the edge of this seam, that we are working here with a very fine merino knit right next to a very chunky Aran knit. And you might well think that that would cause a lot of problems, but it doesn't. And we come to the end, so I just do another couple of stitches, then I'm going to thread it very carefully through the space in the binding, pull it a little bit and clip it off. The tail has disappeared into the binding. Undo the tacking or basting, and there it is. I think you'll agree that's pretty good. Over on the back, you can see some other tacking stitches from that double tacking I did. But let's see, can we see any of the stitches? Have they come through to the back? No. If they have, it's in the slightest way. That's pretty good. And once I press it, those marks will disappear totally. And here is the final quilt. Right now, it's making my bed very warm and cozy in the Australian winter. Thank you so much for watching.